Happy Sunday, everybody. So I am coming back to you guys with my sewing series video. If you're not already familiar with this series, I do have an introduction video, so go head over to my channel and check that out if you haven't already, so that way you can know what this series is going to be about. And if you haven't already, go ahead and thumbs up this video if you're excited to get ready to learn how to sew. In this video today, I am just going to be showing you guys the different parts on your sewing machine. Now everybody is going to have a different sewing machine, so don't expect your sewing machine to be exactly like mine, because there's a million different sewing machines out there, you guys. So yeah, there's a dog scratching on the door. Hopefully this helps the people who are beginner sewers and have no clue how to even use your sewing machine, and you just have your sewing machine not even unwrapped yet. You bought a sewing machine, want to learn, but just haven't had the time or just don't have anybody to teach you. Why is my phone going off? That's so inappropriate. Hopefully this will help you out, and if you are advanced in sewing, hopefully maybe you'll learn something too out of this video that you maybe didn't find on your sewing machine. I don't know, but anyways, I'm super excited to start this series with you guys, and a lot of you guys, the comments that you guys posted on my video were amazing. Like, I didn't really realize that a lot of you guys would be really excited to learn how to sew, so I'm so happy I came up with this idea for you guys, and I'm so happy to share my techniques. I'm doing this again. Why? I don't know. It's just And one more thing before we head over to the sewing machine, I do have an elephant in the room. I am filming in a guest bedroom, I guess you can say now. And I'm going to start filming in here more often because there is more space, and I like that it's more whiteness. I don't know, more white walls. There's just more space. Can you hear the echo? Ooh, ooh, ooh. I'm going to start filming in here, so if you guys like this new filming setup, definitely thumbs it up, so that way I know. You guys probably really don't care where I film, but I mean, I don't know, it's just a YouTube thing. Yeah. Let's go ahead and head over to the sewing machine. Okay, so this is my sewing machine, you guys. It is by the brand Kenmore. Not really sure the specific motto. That down in the link below if you maybe have the similar motto to mine. First thing you're gonna need with your sewing machine is definitely going to be the manual. I know every sewing machine, like I said, works the same, but most of them are slightly different. And your manual is going to be the key to getting your machine to, obey to you and be yours. So most manufacturers, they do have the manuals online, and you can download them for free. So yeah, if you have the model number of your sewing machine, just definitely type it in on Google, try to find it online. If you need some help or anything like that, sorry about that. If you need some help or anything, definitely feel free to email me or leave it down in the comments below. Today, sewing machines are made of lots of parts, but like I said before, this is my sewing machine, and I'm just going to show you all the important parts on the sewing machine as of right now. So the first thing that we have that I want to talk about, actually turn this machine on so that you know how to do that. Turn the machine around. Or, it all depends on where your sewing machine at. There should be a switch. And mine has a switch right here. It says on and off. And there should also be like some cords where you can plug some things in. So my sewing machine comes with this cord, like this. Plug that in. And you're also going to want to take your cord in like this and plug that into the wall. So now when you switch the cord on, you see that the light comes on your sewing machine. Next thing is the hand wheel. And that is located right here. So this is the hand wheel. This is what controls the needle up and down. I don't know if you can tell right there that the needle is going up and down. But if you don't have any electricity, you can just use the hand wheel, and that will make your needle go up and down. There's usually a presser foot lever on the machine, but mine actually broke off, so I don't really have a lever on mine, but that's usually located somewhere right here, and you can let this lever go down, and it kind of just this little thing goes down on the machine. You have is the presser foot, which is right here, and this basically just presses down on the pieces of fabric that you want to sew together, and it can be changed out for specific types of presser feet to help you accomplish, you know, specific things like zippers, because zippers do require a different presser foot, as well as zigzagging that usually requires a different presser foot. So there is like a little lever back here that you can press up, and it is going to release the presser foot, which looks like this. A built-in needle plate, and this is basically right here there's like a needle plate, and it also has like a measuring tape on it, so that way you can measure your fabrics and kind of stay in line. So that's usually what this little part is used for. This little silver plate is used to basically sew on top of, and it also has, mine has a like a measuring thing on it, measurements, and some of those have tape measures right here as well. So it just depends on what type of sewing machine that you have. And then of course you have the needle, which you can change the needles out. I've had to change my needle out numerous of times because I've broken it because of the tension being too high on my sewing machine. So you definitely need to be careful with that, but we'll talk about that in another video. So there's a needle right here, you guys can see that. Here on the side of your sewing machine, there's a little thread cutter right here. So when you're done with the extra thread, you can kind of put it through there and cut off the thread. So I thought that was pretty neat. It's really handy, so you don't always have to use your scissors. Now on the top portion of the sewing machine, we have the thread tension control, and this is just going to just basically, you can put this on a dial button on some machines that controls the tension at which the upper thread is pulled. So you usually don't want to have this up like too high, because like I said before, I've had it on the wrong dial and it's literally made it so hard for me to sew. Like I would get so frustrated. So you always want to make sure that your tension dialer is at a decent tension, and I'll explain that in another video. That way it makes it easier for you to sew and your sewing machine won't break, just all types of different things. Next we have the stitch pattern adjustment, and there's different types of stitches. Like I said before, there's these zigzag stitches, there's these straight stitch, there's like double stitching. Depending on the machine, there are different stitches to choose from. I don't usually really use those. I usually use like zigzag or straight, but yeah, you should definitely go to your manual so that you can maybe learn a little bit more about the stitching that is available on your sewing machine. And there is a little dollar down here as well, which gives you the opportunity to change the stitching. So it's pretty neat. Stitch length adjustment, which is right here on this side of the sewing machine. And this just helps setting the lengths of every individual stitch. The type of fabric and the thread you use will determine which stitch length that you should use. So you should sew on a test scrap of fabric to usually determine the correct stitch length for that fabric. But yeah, well, like I said before, we'll learn more about that. I usually leave mine on 1 because I don't know, if I'm really not really sure if I'm gonna mess up, I usually do 3 because it makes the stitching bigger. Okay, so down here at the bottom of the sewing machine, a lot of these sewing machines have this. If you have a newer one, it may be a little bit different, but we have the spool holder down here, and this is like a little compartment that you can take off. I usually leave like my pins and things in here, and just dip another, like an extra bobbin if I want to do like another color. But I have like it's like a holder for all of my sewing things. I use this, but I also have another box. But the neat thing about it is you can take this off and it slides right off if you don't really want to use that. And then down here you have the spool holder. It has multiple functions to hold spool of thread, but it also controls the direction of the thread as it goes through the machine. So if your machine has more than one thread holder, it probably means you can use a double-dyed needle to sew decorative stitches on your sewing machine. So depending on the machine, the spool holder can be horizontal or it can be vertical. And on this machine, there are 2 spool holders, and they are both vertical. So it looks like this. This is like the bobbin case, and the bobbin usually sits in this, and it can be found under the needle plate, which is right here. And it usually has a piece of plastic that flips up the cover, so the bobbin case, so that it covers up the bobbin case when you're not sewing. And I think I lost my piece of plastic, but I usually just put my bobbin in there like that, and it kind of just holds it. The bobbin in here. The bobbin is just a small thing with thread in it. And like I said before, this does sit into the bobbin case. So it looks like that. You can easily just close this up. So yeah, go to your manual so you can figure out where your bobbin is, because it may sit up on top or something like that. There's all type of different machines. This is the back sew button. This button is on the front of the machine, and it's used to sew backwards, which you will do at the end of every seam to tie it off to make sure that the seam stays in place. So sewing backwards is the same in every aspect of sewing, the usual way, except for the direction. So it's just like going straight, but you're just gonna go backwards. So you just sew the same way, but you press this down and press the footer to go backwards. It's connected up into for my cord. It's connected to the cord, the power cord, and it is the foot pedal, and you will use this all the time. Your sewing machine won't run unless you press down on the foot. I don't know I just scared myself. I don't know if you guys can hear that, but every time you press down on this, it's gonna go up and down. Last neat thing that I wanted to show you guys on this sewing machine is that it does have a handle, which makes it really more convenient to carry if you need to take it somewhere. So it does have a handle if you need to move it over or anything like that. So it just makes it really, really, really convenient. But overall, that is most about this sewing machine. That's mostly what you're gonna need to know, the basics about the sewing machine. There are other little functions on the sewing machine, but you'll learn those along the way while you're sewing if you need those. But mostly that's the most things that you're gonna need to know about the sewing machine. Well, yeah guys, that is basically it about the sewing machine. Hopefully you learned something from this video. I know it was pretty boring. Hopefully that you did learn something, like I said though, and hopefully you could see the little details that I was trying to explain to you. But yeah, like I said before, my sewing machine is going to be way different from yours. So really, until next Sunday, while you are, sitting at home throughout the week, go over your sewing machine, read through your manual, learn your sewing machine, so that way when we get into our sewing tutorials, you'll kind of already know and get the feel of your sewing machine, not just mine, because like I said, it is different from mine. So yeah, in our next video, we are going to be talking about the essentials that you're going to need to sew. So get your shopping list ready, because I am going to be showing you guys what you're going to be needing in order to start sewing. The essentials. Don't forget to do what I said. Go and work and look at that sewing machine and learn it like the back of your hand. Know the terms. I might even quiz you. I might quiz you all and do a giveaway. Maybe I'll give away a sewing kit. I might just. Only if you go study. I will definitely talk to you guys in the next video. I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up if you want me to continue doing these videos. I love you.